Howdy, I'm Justin Pulliam. In this video, I'll preview what we can expect at Tuesday evening's political tragedy comedy show, otherwise known as the Leon Valley City Council meeting.
Is actually because, as you see here, Mayor, on your screen, Justin Pulliam is wearing a Change Leon Valley shirt.
Oh, we got more shirts?
You want a shirt? Are we going arms?
Yeah.
I'll go with my keys.
What do you think? Okay.
I do know who released it to the world, which includes media outlets who routinely troll his website. The information about the arrest was released by Justin Pulliam. In reality, Mr. Pulliam, as you can see up there, just several hours, not days, not weeks, just several hours afterwards, is the one who put it out there. The video by Mr. Pulliam rails against the arrest, going so far as to say it was done because we didn't like things he was saying in the meeting. We all know that's not true. Who did it? Well, pretty simple. Justin Pulliam did it. While it's within his right to do that, it's proof positive that they released the video of Justin Pulliam. It was Justin Pulliam, and you can see it right there, just hours after Justin Pulliam released Councilman Bradshaw's video of the arrest.
Answer could have been done in 10 seconds. Justin Pulliam. Why did we have to listen to 12 minutes of all this other stuff? That wasn't pertinent to the question.
Non-Leon Valley residents seem to be primarily Justin Pulliam.
Again, we have some comments from Justin Pulliam, who does not live in this city, so we will not be able to read those tonight.
You just said it a minute ago. You don't want anybody from outside the city to make a statement. Primarily with Justin Pulliam was mentioned.
Last month, we watched complete insanity unfold at Leon Valley City Council meetings. Tyrant Police Chief Joe Salvaggio attacked me, the mayor, Councilman Bradshaw, and citizen activists. Salvaggio's 24-page speech, which I've exclusively obtained, touts that he's still here despite the absurd claims of the First Amendment agitators, members of the Change Leon Valley Project, and other members of the mayor's political team. Yes, indeed. That's his notation right there that says to keep politics out of the discussion. It's all about politics. And it doesn't end there. He complains Mr. Pulliam has hooked up with the Change Leon Valley Project and Josh Stevens a year and a half ago, and they scheme regularly and publicly about ways to take us tyrants down. I don't think the Change Leon Valley Project has even existed for a year and a half. There are a number of items on the agenda that are guaranteed to have us all laughing and then crying at the same time as we realize that this isn't filmed safely on the set of some Hollywood production. No, it's real life. It's as real as it gets. Probably the most exciting, if they don't just cancel it, is the discussion and possible action on investigating potential fraud, abuse and waste of city funds and resources by the Leon Valley Police Chief and City Manager, as well as an investigation regarding the use of official capacity to oppress citizens and business owners of Leon Valley in violation of the Texas Penal Code and other federal laws. Now that sounds like exactly what Leon Valley needs. Will there finally be accountability for the criminal acts of the Leon Valley Police? Maybe. But first, Councilman Bradshaw has to survive a political attack from Salvaggio's political establishment because they're trying to take him out. Corrupt City Manager Kelly Kuenstler is requesting council intervention to stop Will Bradshaw. I bet she would like to stop him. The only backup she has to her baseless allegations are a couple body camera videos of Mr. Olin Yarnell's arrest and one of my videos.
Yeah. Totally crazy. See, they just arrested Olin. Yeah, what was that? Unbelievable. The chief said no to arrest Olin. The senator did the meeting after the arrest. Wait. You know. Yeah, they say.
You were in that position. No, sir. Read chapter 14. Come on. It's shameful. Read chapter 14. It's shameful. It's really shameful. You choose this opportunity
You guys are disgusting.
to
You
do it.
disgust me. You're the problems with this country. You're the problems. You're the guys that are kneeling on the people's necks.
You know what? You seem,
I'm sorry, but
you
this
seem
is
like
disgusting.
a decent gentleman, but we saw
This
what
is
you did during
disgusting.
Mr. Martinez's hearing to get up there and try to slander a councilman.
They were keying up, so I got out to check on them.
We're not okay.
Said they were keying up. So they had asked, they were asking to see if they were okay. So I came in.
You're arrested 77-year man for assault. That's disgraceful. This is disgraceful. Disgusting.
Sorry, you can't see the other body camera video right now because they incompetently posted the same video twice. Alright, here's mine. The CON, the consul, debates police reform. Debates. DEBAITS. These guys. They're either forced to do everything or they were baited into it. Don't count on them ever taking personal responsibility for their own actions. At Leon Valley, it seems like they're always ready to remind us just how much tyranny they're capable of. A few weeks ago at a city council meeting, after Olin Yarnell, a 78-year-old member of the public there who's involved in trying to take back the government for the people, after he was quite critical and effective also in exposing the political establishment, they arrested him after the meeting on an arrest warrant for an alleged offense that occurred over a year ago. Yet they chose 2 o'clock after a meeting, it's 2 o'clock in the morning, to make the arrest. I have new video of that arrest, so hang tight if you'd like to see that. But first, I'd like to give a big thank you to a number of the people who gave generous contributions to help cover his entire legal fee. That's right. And full transparency, I wrote a check last week for $3,500 to his attorney who he's retained, Luis Martinez, a $3,500 retainer to cover his legal defense, and that's paid. And I'd like to thank all of y'all who stood up. Over 100 people donated to help raise that, and it's great that we can stand up to the bully police and the bully political establishment and say, hey, if you're going to go after people, the whole world is behind them, and we have their back. And I think we have demonstrated that we have Mr. Yarnell's back, and those fighting to end the tyranny in Leon Valley, to restore liberty, we're there to support you. And I thank all of you who made it possible. It sends a very powerful message. I'd like to especially thank Josh Stevens, Tony Marufo, Scott and Jackie Conrad, Edward Fitzpatrick, Travis Brazil, Brent, Councilman Will Bradshaw, and I have a message here. He says, thank you, Justin, for all you do for the rights of the citizens. Olin Yarnell is a good man, and it is disgraceful what is going on in Leon Valley. Thank you, Councilor Bradshaw. I'd like to thank David Kincaid, Larry McRae, Danette Mitchell, Renardo Orozco, and Nanette Nino. Thank them to defend someone standing up to Leon Valley's. What in the heck is that desktop background? Is that someone kneeling to pray to the Blue Lion? Salvaggio did some clever manipulative editing here. Since it starts at the bumper, a lot of people might think, hey, that's the start of the video. But it's not. Here's what he cut off.
You guys choose a council meeting to do this? To an upstanding citizen of this town? Unbelievable.
Is there an option of somebody getting arrested at City Hall at 2 o'clock in the morning? I don't know. I just think that there's bound to be another option besides that.
I'm not really sure what
discussion.
it's so as far as
it's so difficult to
making
get
a motion to do something, there's no room for action here.
Okay.
And here's what happened right after where he stopped the clip. Thank you all for your generous support and everyone else who contributed. This The showing of support, again, it's so powerful. The how quickly we were able to come to defend someone standing up to Leon Valley's political establishment. In case you missed it, here's what happened after that city council meeting.
What are they arresting him for what?
He can't stand that people can record the police and that I can publish those recordings. They think that everyone should agree with them, praise them, speak about the city only positively. Such a standard of governance would lead to absurd results. Actually, it already has. Immoral and illegal acts should be called out. Abusive activities should end. And improper and wasteful expenditures of public funds should be criticized. Indeed, people can campaign for political office and even hold political office for the purpose of wanting to change the status quo. Elected officials don't have to like what the city and staff are doing, much less promote them. They can even call them out. The people call on elected officials to criticize government abuse and reform Leon Valley. If the elected official is off base, expect him to be removed at the polls. But instead, the city administrators are radically trying as hard as they can to remove the elected officials who speak critically of them and ask them questions. It's straight up tyranny. But of course, we're already in the era of canceling elections and silencing the people. Shifting gears for just a moment, I want to discuss some of the open records games that Leon Valley plays that waste so much of my time. The dirty city administrators like to lie behind the log and then jump up and get ya when they think it'll cause the most damage. Normally, council agenda items and presentations are released days before the meeting and part of the agenda backup packet. But when they're going after the mayor, going after Will Bradshaw, going after me, they keep it a secret. They hide it.
Mayor, point of order.
Yes. What is your point?
These slides are not included in the agenda packet prior to the meeting for us to review.
Disagreed with
Okay,
revealing at the time.
excuse me,
Point of order.
I have a point of order. Yes, Mr. Bradshaw.
The chief continues to be off topic, and he is actually, by the definition of this council, I believe, personally attacking you and your quote-unquote team of citizens, continues to throw aspersions at the citizens and at yourself. It's obviously well-prepared statement that this chief makes, and he continues to brag about his experience and about in his 33 years, he's never had anybody question an arrest. How many people have you arrested in the city council chambers at 2 o'clock in the morning, chief?
Okay.
That's my question. But please,
I'd like to answer this
stick to
question.
the topic and stop your bloviating.
Yeah, I just want the question and the answer, and you're doing a lot of other stuff on the side, and I have felt like you are either personally attacking me or
By putting
bullying
the facts
me.
out? By putting the facts
Just the
out?
way, and your team, yeah, just answer the question, that's all, please.
All right.
That's all.
Like,
Don't go on down the rabbit trails.
It's not rabbit trails, ma'am. These are going to be the facts.
The council majority is using its tenuous hold on power to eliminate elected officials without an election. So they got rid of Benny Martinez, and now they may be trying to remove me and Councilor Bradshaw because we criticize and ask questions of staff. And we don't do what staff tells us to do. That's just, again, we need to have respect on both sides. It is unimaginable that what happened here at the last meeting where the chief attacked me could have happened in any other city in this metroplex. This is outrageous. Can you imagine Chief McManus attacking Mayor Nuremberg like Chief Salvaggio did? And I know Chief Salvaggio said, no, I attacked him. But go look at the tape. Go look at the tape.
I have seen time after time after time where Chief Salvaggio gets up at this microphone and attacks the mayor continually. And I can produce the videos if that is necessary.
I requested a copy of the presentation and notes during that very council meeting right away. All they had to do was drag and drop it into an email and hit send, but they didn't. The continuation of the presentation was moved to the next meeting. Still, they didn't provide the information to me as required by law. nor did they include it in the agenda packet. I told the mayor I didn't know how she could possibly facilitate an efficient meeting when the political establishment was always just trying to get her. Finally, the day after the second meeting, they sent me Salvaggio's speech and a modified PowerPoint. So I asked the city secretary why I didn't receive the original PowerPoint, and instead I received some sort of modified thing created after the fact. And if that was what Salvaggio did, I wanted to communicate with him directly about it. And I also pointed out that apparently he had time to go to my YouTube channel to take screenshots while working on making this updated PowerPoint, but for some reason failed to simply just send me the file or post it in the agenda packet. Yeah, right there. That's a cute PowerPoint slide. Oh gosh, these guys. Oh my goodness. And so a little while later, I received a response again. This was on a Thursday, a couple Thursdays ago. She wrote, "Mr. Pulliam, I cannot give you an answer on whom from the LVPD responded to my request, as the information was just placed in my mailbox. What usually happens at Leon Valley and the city administrators is that they all cover for each other. The assistant city manager will cover for the police chief, or the city secretary will cover for one of the city councilwomen who's part of the political establishment. Kelly covers for Joe, vice versa. It's just this, you can't get a straight answer if it makes another city administrator answer for their actions." So she writes, "Mr. Pulliam, I cannot give you an answer on whom from the LVPD responded to my request, as the information was just placed in my mailbox. Normally the chief would provide the information to me directly, so I honestly do not know at this time. I have reached out to him and asked him directly if he could provide the PowerPoint to me. He is not in the office today, but I believe he does check his email while out of the office, so I may get a response." So what was Salvaggio doing that day? Well, according to the file metadata for the video clip I showed you a little bit ago, that Thursday afternoon was when he was on my YouTube channel stealing my video. Again, they have time to be on my YouTube, but they can't just drag and drop and send an email? It wasn't until after I emailed the city attorney that I received a PowerPoint file, but even that wasn't the right one. It was lacking the media files and the videos. In Texas, it's a misdemeanor criminal offense to refuse or fail to provide a copy of public information. And in this instance, Joe Salvaggio stated that the exact information in question was public and must be released. He said the act requires us to release information on any citizen arrested for a crime. The details, to include any pictures, reports, or videos, are required to be released by law. We would be breaking the law if we did not release them under a request for open records by the media, or anyone else for that matter. So Joe Salvaggio, why haven't you released the entire original PowerPoint complete with those videos that you yourself not only claim are public, know are public, but were sitting in the council, standing in the council meeting, defending your decision to play those videos in public?
After 16 years of you leading the city, I'm guaranteeing you've taken the Public Information Act class many times. I know in the last 4 years I've been here, I've taken it several already. As such, I'm sure, as council knows, that the act requires us to release information on any citizen arrested for a crime. We all know that. There are exceptions, like when an investigation is ongoing and releasing of information would compromise that investigation. But that's not what we have here. The arrest was made under warrant issued by a grand jury. The details, to include any pictures, reports, or videos, are required to be released by law. We will be breaking the law if we do not release them under a request for open records by the media or anyone else for that matter.
All right, and a highlight of some of the PowerPoint slides. Here you have this one. Who released the breaking Leon Valley news? Well, of course, Justin Pulliam did. And so if you'd like to know, oftentimes before Joe Salvaggio, all of the important breaking news in Leon Valley, please be sure to subscribe not only to this channel, Justin Pulliam, right down here, subscribe, all notifications, but my other channel, Justin Pulliam Live. Like I was saying, plenty of time spent on my YouTube. I just don't know why they couldn't just email it over. Just email the PowerPoint. Oh my gosh, how dare someone record the police? The caption is, Councilman Bradshaw is the only one recording, he says. But wait, right there. There's another person recording from inside the city council. What's the big deal, Salvaggio? Indeed, right here, the very next slide. Look, it's that video from that other person who was also video recording from the city council chambers. Well, I do my very best to read the comments that you leave on my videos. After a video's been up for a while, I may not come back and see everything, but I can guarantee you, Salvaggio is sitting at home or work reading every one of your comments. Hey, leave a comment, thumbs up, thumbs down. Let everyone know what you think. Let the Leon Valley Police Department, the Leon Valley Police Chief, the city administrators, Joe Salvaggio, the city council, let them know what you think. You probably aren't going to be heard in one of the city council meetings. You want to be heard, hey, right down here, right down there. Just drop your comment on Justin Pulliam YouTube. I guess it's the new citizens to be heard for Leon Valley. I still await the entire PowerPoint, complete with the media files. Do you think I'll get it? What do you think I should do? You can leave a comment about that too. And for this, they charged me $9 for that information. It's just a joke. If you'd like to support my Leon Valley efforts, please consider making a donation or joining my Patreon. Links and more information are in the video description. There's a lot more happening at the meeting. Salvaggio wants $3,700 to hire a private investigator to try to get criminal convictions from that go-to-meeting, city council meeting on April 7th that the city administrators let fail. Remember this one?
Be hurting. Me that he close the curtains. Then my kidney got me tweaking.
I hope they didn't see me dancing.
They'll be discussing their massive attorney bills, including the lawsuit for the witnesses who were arrested at the press conference. Also on the agenda, Leon Valley is assisting First Amendment auditors by getting 100 free, unlimited Wi-Fi hotspots to help people film the government, cop watch, and live stream. All of it will be broadcast live on Justin Pulliam Live this Tuesday starting at 5:15 Central Time. I've upgraded the interaction. We'll have new first-person camera angles live from the council chambers. It's going to be a great show. The link is in the video description below. Be sure to set a reminder. I'll see you Tuesday, and until then, be sure to film the police.